Sweet and Low picks up a win.
Oh yeah. Let's talk about it. Just Sugar Man. Why you call him Sweet and Low, man?
Hey, a couple people were feeling the nickname. A couple people in the comments were feeling the nickname.
Hey man, listen. So I had an opportunity before Shane. I'm gonna just call him Shane. Before Shane fought in the championship of the Contender, he actually had me come in and spar with him. He fought Brandon Adams in the championship of the Contender, and I had an extreme pleasure to be around. It was the most time I had spent around Naseem Richardson. And I soaked it up, man. That's one thing I learned from my dad. My dad is like, hey, you around with somebody that's got knowledge, you get as much as you can from him. And I mean, I was grabbing him any chance I got to like get stories from him and all this kind of stuff, man. Just an amazing man. I missed the dude, you know what I mean? Like I really enjoyed who he was as a person. Yeah. And I miss him. Shout out to Naseem Richardson and the Richardson family.
Absolutely.
Back home. In Philly. But saying that to say, last week you had tried to give this weak nickname to Sweet and Low, and I just called him Sweet and Low.
Yeah. I know, I just let it go. That's what said too Sweet and Low.
Yeah. And I could not for the life of me remember what Naseem Richardson was calling him during camp. But when he came to the ring and they announced him as Sugar Man, I was like, oh, Sugar Man, okay, yeah, you want sure, that's cool. And then immediately it came to me. So because Naseem trained his dad, that was, Sugar Shane, he would call Junior Spice. So he called him Spice all the time. And to me, that just, I don't know, it was special because of who it was coming from. Yeah. And so last week I could not remember what he was calling them. But when I heard it last night, I heard it in my head and I was like, damn, like I wish he would have carried on Spice as his nickname. Like no matter how tight or how weak it is, like to me, I was like, damn, like I wish he had carried on that Spice name.
Cause before it was Sugar Man, what was it? They were just, I don't think me and him have a conversation about it before, but I forgot what he had before Sugar Man. I think he was just going with Shane Mosley Jr. Nothing really to it.
I thought, well, shoot, let me get y'all impressions on the Sugar Man Shane Mosley Jr.
I felt it was good. He looked way better than last time. Offense was great. They switched up trainers. How we confirm that?
No, Bones Adams is his trainer.
Okay. Yeah, it's not the same trainer from last time. Switched up trainers.
Yeah, because everything going on, he had to move away from Caleb Plant's coach.
Okay.
Whose name
Justin Gamble?
Justin, yes. Thank you, Justin Gamble. Okay. I'm glad you know his name.
I'm glad that when I said it was correct, because after I said it, I was like, damn, I don't think that's right.
No, you got it. Because of everything going on, this can't be too much intermingling and all that kind of stuff. So Shane made a quick move over there with Bones Adams out in Vegas, and he it looks like to me from the way he performed yesterday, it looks like things are working out with him and Bones Adams. From what I heard, Bones has given him some pretty good information from camp, and pretty much got him to the ring the right way, which is that's basically the first big hurdle you have in the fight.
Yeah, I thought he's very smooth offensively, and he's very gifted offensively. Mm-hmm. But his defense in the last fight, there were times where I was like, man, you have to just be better there. Mm-hmm. We kind of mentioned, having to just get off the line sometimes. But yesterday, same thing. He stops the guy. First time the guy ever got stopped. Mm-hmm. So you look at the offensive side from Shane.
Right.
It was great.
Right.
With the defensive side, it's just – you have to be more responsible. I think.
He took some big shots that you can't take at super middleweight.
No. I remember his previous fight, his tendency to move straight back instead of going to the left or to the right was getting him in a lot of trouble. He just was kind of eating shots in that fight, and then you have a situation last night where his head just isn't moving, and then you have another situation where it's almost like he does not see the punches coming. And he was getting hit with some pretty big overhand rights and some straight rights. And I said, dang, like that right hand is a problem for him tonight. And he did something offensively to close this dude's eye up in like the third round.
Really good jabs.
And then after that, that's my whole thing. Like as a fighter, you should be able to recognize what's working well, and really not when you see what's working, don't do any more and don't do any less, or pick your moments when you want to do more and when you want to do less. And at the end of the day, this is boxing. When you decide to do less, the number one thing you're supposed to do more of is have defense. And that just seemed to be like a big thing for him last night was his defense.
It's interesting. Sergio Mora mentioned it. And when Shane is relaxed, he's really good offensively. He just seems to have a rhythm where if it looks like Sergio mentioned, he looks like he's just fighting off instinct. He's really good offensively at that time. You can kind of see when he's got his rhythm going.
He's a natural boxer.
Yeah, but it works two ways though, because as I'm noticing that, as I notice his offense getting better, his defense when he was relaxed was getting worse. So he's moving, he's looking good, he's firing these shots off, like we said, landing some great jabs, some left hands, but then he's just kind of careless, and he was getting hit with some shots. So I think it has to find that happy medium where I'm flowing offensively, and then also I'm still cognizant defensively. Okay, I need to be on my P's and Q's still.
Yeah, I think it's an instinctive thing. I think that God, like for me, I know that in the ring I have to be at a certain level, like mentally, or everything's not going to click. And I'm not going to flow the way I need to flow. So, I mean, I really do. I take myself there coming out to the ring. And that's why I normally 9 times out of 10, I'm starting at a certain pace and I'm ending at that pace, because I know that that's what it takes for me to be able to be attentive to what's happening offensively and defensively. Some guys, they're like, what I'm seeing with Shane is it's almost like he's trying to control himself in the ring, and then trying to control himself, it's like he's pulling back on certain things, and then the intensity isn't there, and it's like he gets hit before he knows it.
Yeah, and Sergio mentioned it looks like when he's in those rhythms that he's not overthinking, which makes sense, because if you're not overthinking offensively, you're probably not overthinking defensively. So then you're like, okay, I'm just kind of going with what I can do naturally, and it just leaves them available there for some shots. But still, like we said, first time that guy's been stopped, offensively looked really good. Just needs to just tighten things up a little bit. And I'm not sure if I want to see him in there with one of those top guys yet, but
no. He needs
definitely take some steps up.
So after the fight, my question was, is Sugar Man ready for Jason Quigley? And I got to see better defense, and it's got to be better defense in a fight. It can't just be better defense in training and I'm ready. Like, you got to be able to do it and know that it's there in the fight. That way you can go to a fight with Jason Quigley or one of those other top guys at that division and actually be able to, be successful in those fights.
And the problem is, I think Jason Quigley is next. I don't think he has time to fight somebody else.
Yeah,
he's not. Shane Jr. is not young in boxing terms, so he's not somebody that he doesn't have 5 fights to build into that. Obviously everyone's timeline is different, so you don't have to have a world title right now. But I don't think he's somebody where he can just for the next 3 years
build and rebuild,
keep fighting the same kind of guys and not really elevate or go down. But
I told Ant last night, I see it in him, man. I told Ant, I'm not saying he has the potential to be his dad or be as good as his dad, but he has the potential to be a very good boxer. I just can see it, man. And it's like, I see what he probably saw as a kid. Like, when you grow up seeing your dad do it for so long, I see the way he carries his hands and the way he moves and stuff like that. It's like you're emulating your dad without trying to emulate your dad.
Yeah. And
it's because of who you are as a fighter and what's inside you. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping, over the course of, this guy maybe 2 fights away, and you got to be really thinking about a championship title. I think in between that time, if he can, tap into some potential that he's got,
Yeah.
You know, at the end of it sucks, but at the end of the, it sucks that everybody's gonna always compare him to his dad.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that may be something holding him back too. The fact that he feel like he can't live up to his dad, or the fact that he has to live up to, and the list goes on. But
just gotta be himself.
At the end of the day, be yourself, because yourself is a lot like your dad. I can see it.
Yeah.
Don't tell me you didn't enjoy what you saw, because I know you did. What you need to do now, hit that subscribe button, hit the like, hit that notification button. Check us out every week, every Tuesday, something new for you right here on the Porter Way Podcast.